Okay, in this short video I'm going to run through how to draw a climate graph, and in this example we're going to use data for Oxford from 2012. Before we get started, you need to make sure that you've got a pencil, you need to make sure that you've got a ruler, and in order to colour the graph in, you're going to need a colour pencil and also then a different colour in order to draw the line graph. When watching this video, I'd like you to make some notes in the back of your exercise book about what you are going to have to do, because very shortly you're going to be creating your own climate graph for Oxford. So here we go then. First of all, get your graph paper and turn it so that it is landscape. And I'd like you to measure 24 centimetres across along the bottom and then 18 centimetres up on both sides. Make sure that you do this in pencil and with a ruler in case you make a mistake. Notice how I haven't drawn the x-axis right at the bottom of my graph paper. I've left myself some space in order to write some labels, and I've done the same thing on both the y-axes as well. So leave yourself some space either side. So 24 centimetres going across, 18 centimetres going up on both sides. Right, now that I've drawn the basic outline of my climate graph, the next thing I need to do is just mark off every 2 centimetres square, every big square. So do that on both the y-axis and then along the x-axis. When I've marked off every 2 centimetres square, I'm going to write in the first letter of each of the months of the year. The reason I'm not going to write the full month out is because I'm not going to fit it in that space. So notice how I've used a capital letter indicating the start of each month's name. Don't forget as well to label that x-axis to show that it's showing the months of the year. Okay, nearly ready to start drawing my graph, but first of all I've got to add some values to the left-hand y-axis. And I'm going to go up in 20s because the highest value is just below 160 millimeters, but I'm going to give myself one spare square at the top there. So I'm going to go up in 20s all the way up to 160. Don't forget as well to label this axis, the rainfall, and then the unit of measurement is millimeters. Okay, next step is to do this right-hand y-axis. That's what makes a climate graph slightly different, is that it's got two y-axes. So this time we're not going to go up in 20s, we're going to go up in 2s on the right-hand side. Now these figures show the average temperature for each month, so make sure that you add this label too. I haven't got space above 18 to do it, so I've just done it alongside. Notice as well how I've abbreviated that in order to fit it in, so I've just put av temp, but I haven't forgotten my unit of measurement, so I've got degrees Celsius there. Okay, now I'm ready to start drawing my bar chart, which shows me the rainfall totals for each month. So I am making sure that I'm studying this left-hand axis. For now, I'm ignoring this right-hand axis. I'm not going over here at all. So using a ruler and pencil, I draw the bars to show the rainfall totals for each month. Now, as a bit of a hint, each 1 millimeter square, which is the smallest square in your graph paper, is equal to 2 millimeters of rainfall to help you work that out. When I have drawn all my bars, I'm then ready to colour in. The reason I've done it in felt tip pen is because it helps it stand out on this video. But if you can colour your bars in neatly in coloured pencil, please. Blue ideally, but if you haven't got a blue, use another colour. But most climate graphs use blue for the bar charts. When I've done that, I'm now ready to start plotting the average temperature data for each month. Now the key thing to note here is that, number one, we are now using this right-hand axis because that's what tells us what the average temperature actually is. And the other main thing to notice is that the dots are on the central point of each month. So they aren't on the ends of the month. Okay, that's where they're not. They're in the middle. The reason they're in the middle is because they are average values. So your next job is to plot the temperature data for Oxford for each month, remembering to put the dots in the middle of each month. Now that we've plotted our points, the next thing we've got to do is, with a ruler, join the points up. Try and do this with a different colour pen or pencil. And the last thing that we have to do is just add a suitable title to complete our climate graph. So you can see the title that I've chosen here, very simply, a climate graph for Oxford, and then in brackets 2012. So there we have it, a climate graph.